This is why we love docks. And this is why we hate docks. My name is Ian, and welcome to my channel on home construction for people who've never done this before, which was my case before I got started. Likes and follows are appreciated, and I'm going to be talking about the dock. Now, the dock on our property was kind of another central part of the whole camp experience. We could go down the dock, we could go swimming in the river, we could watch the sunset. We really, really liked it. And I think from this picture, too, you can see it's just a nice feature to have for a camp. You can see someone swimming there. We have towels going on here. But there were a couple fundamental issues with the dock. And even though we didn't do a demolition like we did with the rest of the property, we did make some changes in the course of redoing this whole property. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So this particular dock was designed in the 1990s. And at the time, the idea was if we had this L shape, we could put a boat here, and it would be kind of protected from the water when it got in certain days when the wind was coming kind of from the northwest direction. There was a couple issues with the L-shaped dock, which we discovered over time. One thing is that it catches weeds when the wind is coming in the other direction from the northeast, and sometimes you had to kind of muck those out with a rake or something like that. And then also there was a maintenance burden. And let's go back to that this picture. We came back in April of last year and found out that the siding for the dock was basically unhinged and just kind of flapping in the water. And this was on a calm day. You can imagine what this thing looked like on a really busy, wavy day when we got 3 foot or 4 foot swells. So that was a big thing that we were thinking about when we were doing the reconsidering how to handle this particular issue. You can see I have a hammer and nails there, so we just did a very simple repair that day. But long term, the dock, we needed to address the dock situation. One other thing with the dock that you need to understand is there's other things that are attached to the dock. One of them was the concrete parapet. And these were basically cinder blocks with a very thin sheen of concrete kind of plastered over it, and it was the sheen was starting to crack off, basically because water was getting behind these concrete blocks or into the blocks themselves. I'll talk about that when I get into the demolition videos later on. And this thing, long term, was just not sustainable. It was just it had been in there for about 50 years, and the construction had kind of reached the end of its life, thanks to water and the environment. And then the other thing we had up here was a pump in this little box here, because the camp was so primitive, we didn't have any running water, so we had to pump water up from the river, which was a legal thing to do for flushing the toilet and stuff like that. You certainly wouldn't want to drink the river water raw, but this was also a long-term thing that we had to think about when we were thinking of how we wanted to redo the dock. And if this video helped, please take a moment to like it and follow me, and stay tuned for more videos on home construction for people who've never done it before, which was my situation before I got started on this big project.